welcome to another tutorial. If you've not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe. On this channel we teach basic beginners sewing tutorials on dresses, bustier, just everything basic and everything beginners, and it's always beginners friendly. And don't forget to like and leave a comment for me after this video. So today we're going to be drafting a Princess Darts bustier with a Queen Anne neckline. So this is going to be the drafting video, so there will be a sewing video for you to also watch, but this is just the drafting video. So let's get right into the video. So first of all, I already prepared my pattern paper. My pattern paper is folded in two. So I already have my shoulder measurement, which is 8 inches, and then I have my armhole, which is 9, and then this is my bust line, this is my under bust line, this is my waistline, and this is the M. So this is just what I'll be working with. So the next thing to do right now is to get the neckline. And the neckline is a wide neckline. From the picture you can see it has a sweetheart neckline, and it's a wide neckline. That's it. So I'm going to be coming from this shoulder line and this armhole line. I'm going to be coming in like 2.5 inches, yeah, because I really want it to be very thin. So by the time I finish turning it with my lining, it would come down to 1.5. So that's why I'm taking 2.5 in. So but if I check it from here, that's like 5.5 inches. That's 5.5 inches wide. And then how low I want it? I want it maximum 6 inches low. So by the time it is turned, it will be 6.5. So I'm going to go in from this point 4 inches first of all, or let me just make it 3.5. Let me make this 3.5, and when I come to this place, I want to make it 6 inches because I don't want a bust to show. So that's why I'm doing it this way. So I'm going to take this line down to meet this 3.5, and then I'm going to be using my curve. You can see my curve. I'm going to be using my curve to get that sweetheart's neckline. You can see what we have. So by the time I turn it with my lining, the ½ inch will go away from the neck, and of course ½ inch also. So I'll have like 1.5 inch for the strap. So now, having done that, the next thing we're going to do is to come down here by 1 inch for the shoulder slope and connect it to this neckline like this. Now this is the shoulder slope. Then I'm going to check what I have here. Okay, no, sorry. The next thing to do is to impute the bust measurement. So I'm working with a bust of 41. So when I divide it by 4, I have 10.5. So I'm going to be putting that 10.5 in this armhole line like this without the allowance. And then I'm going to come in here and get half of this measurement here, which is 8.5. So that's 4.25. I'm going to come in by ½ inch to give that curve, and then I'm going to connect it. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to connect it to this 10.5 that I have marked here, and also connect it to this point. So we have our armhole ready. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this measurement. Okay, no, I'm going to come back here. I'm so sorry. I'm going to come back here, and then I'm going to impute the nipple to nipple measurement, which in our case is 4 inches. So I'm going to be getting my 4 inch here. So now I want you to take notes. On the bust line, you take the 4 inch, which is the nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. So our nipple to nipple measurement is 8 inches. I divided it by 2, which is 4 inches, and I put it in the bust line. So, but when I come to the under bust, I'm going to be putting 3.5. I'm going to take out 0.5 inch from the nipple to nipple measurement, and I'm going to do the same thing too on the waistline, 3.5. So the only part that I am putting the 4 inch, which is the half of the nipple to nipple measurement, is going to be on the bust line, because I want to give it that smooth curve. I want to give it that smooth curve. So the next thing is you're going to rule a line and connect it like this. The next thing we're going to do is to come here and get the full measurement of this. We're going to get the full measurement of this like this. We're going to get the full measurement like this. Just take your time and do this. Just curve your tape this way to get the full measurement. So I have 10, and then I'm going to get half of that 10, which is 5, and I'm going to mark it here. Let me turn my paper. Half of that measurement, which is 10, remember I got the measurement of this, half of it, which is 10, is 5. So the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to come down from this 5, I'm going to come down by 2 inches. Come down by 2 inches. But first of all, from that 5, I'm going to connect it to this 5 that we came down by. I'm going to connect it to this, like this. You can see it's already taking shape. And then I'm also going to connect this 2 inch, which is the armhole dart. I'm going to connect this 2 inch like this also. You can see. So I'm going to use my marker to just smoothen it in so it doesn't have that sharp connection over there. So I don't have a pointy bust. That's what we're trying to achieve. We don't want a pointy bust. So now we come to the under bust here, under bust line. We're going to be taking in 2 inch here, under bust line, and the waistline 2 inches. 2 inches, and we'll connect it like so. You can see it's already coming together. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get our curve ruler and curve this to get into this, just like this. Just give it a curve like this. Just a curve like this. I always like to smoothen mine like this. When I'm done, you can see what we have here. You can see what we have here. So I took in 2 inches. If the person is on the bigger side, you can take in 2.5, but 2 inches is okay. And for the bust of 41, 2 inches is okay. So now, if we just cut this, we're actually done, but if we cut this like this, when you want to join this part to this part, there will be a shortage here. So the best thing to do is just from this second line, not from the first line, the second line, you just go up by 1.5 inch. Just go up by 1.5 inch and create another armhole curve like this. Create another armhole curve like this. Just create another one like this. So we don't need this. We don't need this also. We're going to be cutting off this. So when you do this, by the time you join this part to this part, you see it's going to meet. So the next thing that we're going to do now is we're going to have to impute the measurements. we'll start imputing the measurement. So my bust measurement is 10.5, which I already placed here. I'm going to place it on this bust part also. 10.5. Then I'm going to be adding 2 inches sewing allowance to this. You can do 2.5, you can do 3 inches. It's better you have a lot of allowance than you have less allowance. So now I'm going to go into the waistline, and my waist is 40, so which is 10 inches. I'm going to be putting that on the waistline. Then take note, you have to measure what you have here, because if you do not add it, your allowance would not be enough. So you need to measure what you have here, which is 2 inches. You add it, because that part will be cut off, and then you add your 2 inches allowance. And you do the same thing here. Whatever you have here, you impute it here too. So you now have to connect what you have. So, and that is it. You have your princess that's bustier, the front pattern. So we'll go ahead now and just cut it. Go ahead now and cut it out. Please watch how I'm cutting it. This is our front neckline. And mind you, you can do any neckline that you wish. Any neckline you want, you can do it. But I want a sweetheart neckline, so that's why. Please watch where I am cutting. Just watch how I am cutting this. Remember, this part is going off, so I'm going to be coming this way. And when you get to this curve, be very, very careful. Very, very careful when you get to this curve. So we have our center piece out. Let's cut our side piece also out. I always advise that when you're cutting this curve, always take your time and be careful. This part is going off. Remember, we're not cutting this first armhole, we'll be cutting the second armhole. Remember, we extended it by 1. So we're not cutting, we will not be cutting that first one. We no longer need that first one. We'll be cutting out the second one. Yeah, so here it is. We have our princess that's bustier, looking absolutely beautiful. So we're going to be using this to cut out on our fabric. This is what it looks like. So we're going to be joining it this way. You can see what we have. We're going to be joining it this way. You can see what we have. And this is it for the princess that's bustier, the front pattern. So now this is the back pattern. We're going to be drafting the back pattern. The back pattern is just a basic pattern. So I already have my chest line, my bust line, and my waistline. So the next thing I'm going to do is to get my shoulder line, which is 8 inches. That's half of my shoulder line, which is 8 inches. I'm going to do that all the way down so that I can have a straight line all the way down to my chest line, so that I can have a very accurate straight line. So I'm going to take a rule down like this, and I have my chest line. So the next thing I'm going to do is to work on the neckline. So in this style, the front is a sweetheart neckline, but the back is a low neckline, but not a sweetheart neckline. So I'm going to do the same thing I did in the front, which is come in here by 3 inches. Come in here by 3 inches. So how low I want the back neckline to be? I want the back neckline to also be 6 inches, 6.5 inches. So by the time I turn it, it will be 7. So I'm taking a 6.5. So, but for the back neckline, it doesn't have a sweetheart neckline. So I'm going to come down here by 6 also. It's just like a rectangle neckline. I'm going to come down here by 6 or 6.5, sorry. I'm going to come down here by 6.5. And I'm going to take a rule like this. So this is what the back neckline is going to be like. It's just going to be a rule like this. So the next thing I'm going to do is to take down the shoulder slope. You know, our shoulders are not straight, so always take down the shoulder slope, which is 1 inch. And then I'm going to connect it like this to the neckline. I'm going to connect it like this to the neckline. So I already have my zip allowance. I use 2 inches for my zip allowance. Always make sure you have your zip allowance for the back, especially if you're going to be imputing your zip. So the next thing I'm going to do is to start imputing my measurement. Like I said, for the back pattern drafting is just a simple back bodice I'm doing. I'm not doing a princess dart for the back. It's just a simple back bodice. So the next thing I'm going to do is the bust measurement, which is 41 divided by 4 is 10.5. I'm just going to put my 10.5 here. Put the same 10.5. I'm going to put my 10.5 here. And then the waist is 40 divided by 4 is 10 inches. I'm going to put that, but I'm going to be putting a waist dart, so I'm going to add an additional 1 inch for my waist dart. And so I have 11, and I'm going to put that 11 also here. I'm going to put 11 here. So the next thing I'm going to do is just to add my allowances, which is 2 inches. So I'm going to just be adding 2 inches all the way down. Add 2 inches to my measurement all the way down. So you can see how simple the back bodice is. It's just simple. It's just a simple basic bodice. And I think I'm going to do a tutorial on a simple basic bodice, so that those who don't know how to draft it will be able to draft it. So the next thing for the back now, we're not going to have any, nothing is going to be coming in, no curve, so it's just going to be a simple armhole curve. A simple armhole curve. You can see what we have here. So we're already done. So for you to know where to impute your darts for the back, we have to come in by the nipple to nipple measurement, which is 4 inches divided by 2 is 8 divided by 2, which is 4 inches. We'll do the same thing here. 4 inches. So on this side, we're going to take ½ inch. We're going to take ½ inch, and then we're going to first of all rule a straight line. You come to the bust measurement also, take your 4 inch. Come to the bust line, take your 4 inch, then rule a straight line like this, and then just connect this way. So we're not doing that whole going by 2 inch that we did at the back. You know, the back doesn't have any bust, so we're just taking a simple dart. So by the time you're done, you're going to take this in. So this is what we have for the back bodice. So you just cut it out and place it on your fabric and cut. But before we do that, we need to take in the zip bulge. What I usually do is to just come in by ½ inch here. I come in by half an inch here and I just connect it to the end of this paper like this. Just come in by half an inch to eliminate that zip bulge, and just cut it out and place it on your fabric. Thank you very much. So after cutting it, I put it on my fabric and cut it, and this is what it looks like. You can see the two sides. And I also went ahead to add my wadding to it, my breast pad to it. You can see what it looks like. I ironed my breast pad on it. So I left this place because I'm going to be doing some embroidery designs on it, so that's why I left that space. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to go and join this together, and when I'm done I will bring it back. And this is what the back looks like. So I also cut out the lining for the back also. So I'm going to be joining it, and I'm going to be joining the front also. So this is what it looks like after joining it. You can see. This is what it looks like. So I joined it, I ironed it, and this is what we have. Thank you so much.